Hey there everyone, today I'm going to show you how to build this awesome kelp farm. This kelp farm will generate a ton of kelp which will be automatically cooked and turned into dried kelp. After that, it will be auto-crafted into dried kelp blocks, perfect for fueling your furnaces. And the best part is that it works in the latest version of Minecraft Bedrock 1.21.31. The base design for this kelp farm is from JC Plays. He is linked in the description. I encountered some challenges while building the farm at this scale, but it works perfectly now. Be sure to follow the tutorial carefully because even one misplaced block can break the farm. And as always, check the pinned comment for any changes or updates. Now let's get started. It's important to chunk align the farm to ensure everything works smoothly. I built my farm in my world across 4 chunks, and while it worked fine, it's always safer to keep it aligned to one chunk. I'm using an amazing free resource pack from Foxy No Tail to locate chunks. I've linked his channel in the description. As you can see, I've outlined the chunk to make it easier for you to follow along. Head to one side of the chunk border. Move about 6 to 8 blocks towards the center and place 4 blocks in a T-shape. Then break this block and place a redstone repeater like this and set it to 2 ticks. Now place a lever there and flick it. Below that, place a redstone torch like this, and on the opposite side, place a piece of redstone dust. This setup forms your redstone clock. Flicking the lever will activate the clock, and flicking it again will turn it off. Next, leave a 1 block gap between the clock and the area you're working on. Break 12 blocks in one direction. Then break another row of 12 blocks directly next to it. After that, build a wall in a 4x6 block formation right there. In the first row, place 12 pistons facing upwards. Right behind them, add 12 redstone dust to power the pistons. Next, place a row of 12 solid blocks behind the pistons and cover those blocks with redstone dust to ensure they are powered. Directly in front of the redstone dust, place 12 sticky pistons, each pointing forward aligned with the row of redstone. Next, place 2 additional rows of solid blocks on top of the sticky pistons and put 12 pistons on top of these blocks, ensuring they are aligned just like this. Now place a row of 12 blocks right in front of these pistons. It's time to wire up part of the redstone. Start by placing 2 redstone dust there. Then head to the end of the row and place a redstone repeater like that and setting it to 2 ticks. Finally, place 3 more redstone dust to connect it to the pistons we placed earlier. Now place 12 sand blocks there. Then add 12 more sand blocks on top of the sticky pistons. Place a layer of solid blocks on top of this sand block row. And cover these pistons by another layer of solid blocks. On the back side of the farm, place another 12 solid blocks below the pistons and cover them with redstone dust. Close off this side of the farm by placing a wall of 4x6 blocks like this. At this spot, place a temporary block, then place 12 double chests in a row. Once you've placed the chests, break the temporary block. From inside of the farm, connect a hopper to each of the chests. Next, place 2 rows of glass panes on top of the hoppers. Followed by another row of solid blocks on top of the glass panes. Now cover the top row of glass panes with signs like that. Next, place a row of upper slabs on top and make sure they are not lower slabs. This is important. Finally, close the gap by placing a row of trapdoors connected to the upper slabs. Now, make sure to waterlog each of the slabs. This step is essential. After that, place a kelp on each of the sand blocks below. Now, pay close attention as I finish the redstone, because one mistake could break the farm. Start by placing one redstone dust in this spot, followed by a solid block. Next, put a redstone torch on top of that block, then add another solid block, followed by another redstone torch. Finally, place the last solid block and place a redstone torch on top. Next, place 3 solid blocks in this configuration. Make sure to position them exactly like this. Any variation could cause the farm to break. Follow the design closely to ensure it functions properly. Now, place a redstone repeater in this location, followed by 2 more pieces of redstone dust to connect everything together. This will complete your redstone wiring. The farm is complete now. In just a moment, I'll show you how to setting up the furnaces and autocrafter and give you some tips and tricks. But first, let's check the redstone setup once more to ensure there's no room for mistakes. As you can see, the farm works perfectly fine and produces kelp at a rapid pace. Sometimes the kelp inside the farm may break and you'll need to replace it. To do this, place 6 scaffolding or ladders in that spot, climb up and replace the missing kelp. Now, to set up the furnaces, break 2 rows of blocks below the double chests. Next, place 2 rows of hoppers pointing in this direction. On top of each hopper, place a smoker. Finally, connect the double chest to the smokers by placing hoppers in between them. By the way, you can break these blocks. Next, remove the 4x3 area of blocks and make these 2 rows 1 block deeper. In front of this hopper, place a crafter facing forward and then connect the other hopper line by placing an additional hopper pointing into the side of the crafter. To reduce some of the lag, you can place a composter on top of this hopper. On the other side of the crafter, place a redstone comparator set to subtract mode. Then break these 5 blocks to create more space and place a redstone repeater in that area as shown. Extend the redstone by placing 4 redstone dust like this. Next, place a solid block in that exact spot and then place a redstone comparator on top of it like this. Position a crafter between the redstone comparator and the wall. Open the crafter's menu and close the first 8 slots by clicking them, leaving just 1 slot open. Next, extend the redstone line by placing 3 more pieces of redstone dust like this. The redstone setup should look like this now. Place a double chest in front of the crafter to collect the dried kelp blocks. Finally, place some of your chosen fuel in each of the smokers to kickstart the kelp cooking process. Later on, you can use the dried kelp blocks to fuel the smokers, making the system entirely self-sufficient. As you can see, the crafter operates flawlessly. The harvested kelp is cooked into dried kelp and automatically crafted into dried kelp blocks. As mentioned before, once you run out of fuel, you can use the dried kelp blocks to fuel the smokers. This is the third best fuel source in Minecraft, right after lava buckets and blocks of coal. Occasionally, some sand blocks may break and fall. Simply replace them by placing new sand. The same goes for the top of the farm, just add new sand and kelp where needed. The farm produces approximately 16 stacks of kelp per minute and around 2 stacks of dried kelp blocks once cooked and crafted. This translates to about 960 stacks of kelp and roughly 120 stacks of dried kelp blocks per hour once cooked and crafted. If sand falls in this lower area, you can break these 3 blocks to get access and remove the sand. Finally, remember to turn off your farm whenever you leave the area or the game, otherwise it might break and you'll have to replace all the sand and kelp again. Thanks for watching, see ya!